around and make it a great one. Today we're going to be watching. So I was currently sending out job applications here at my local town trying to get a job. And it's going pretty not well. I was kind of awkward in these interviews, and I was like really looking forward to working for these luxurious places and stuff like that. But you got to give yourself a break when you're job searching. And to be honest, I'd rather YouTube be my job. So yeah, let's make it happen. So this video is actually from Lila Losi. I'm still learning on how to edit and stuff like that. I'm a beginner, but her title of the video is Hollywood People Tell Their Scary Experiences in Hollywood. And I'm not going to lie to you. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why would you want to be like in the entertainment industry, a singer or a YouTuber? I'm like, honestly, Habibtis, it's simply because I'm a creative. Like, I'm not there for anybody. I'm there for me. I'm there for me. I'm there for my parents. Like if I could get out of the trenches and, get my parents their own house and stuff like that, then it was worthwhile. Like if I can represent some awesome brands, then it was worthwhile. But we're going to get straight into it. As they say, welcome to Hollywood. Why is it even named? We'll find out later. So I was already 37 minutes and 30 seconds in this video. So as you can tell, I was into it. And the stories so far were kind of wild. So this one tarot reader that has got me through like a bunch of depressions and like has been accurate on YouTube is Stargirl. And she was like telling the world that like, yeah, when you come to Hollywood, you go to sleep to like ravens crowing at night. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. When you come to Texas, you just hear beautiful birds and a cricket. Or you'll get like a giant bug or something. But let's tap into the rest of the 10-minute video. As someone who was raised in LA my whole life, I was born in California, I have never really been able to distinguish the difference of the energy here in LA compared to another state because I never lived in another state. I didn't grow up in a place. But what's interesting is that when I was watching all of these clips, I remember there was a time when I was a very, very young girl, I was like maybe like 10, and my parents were driving through the Hollywood Boulevard. And during this time, I was dealing with like this heavy spirit of like depression and anxiety, and I would just get like really weird like attacks in my head. I would be sleeping, and it would be like this object in my head just growing and growing and growing like a circle, and it would make me panic. It was so weird. It was totally from a psychology point of view. It was so like I don't know, I had like some mental issues. And also there was one time where I went to the beach. I was like maybe like I don't know, I think I was 10 too. I forgot how old I was, but I went to the beach, and when I came back that night, I kept like even though I was like sleeping in my bed, I kept feeling like the waves of the beach in my bed, like it just up and down, up and down. And I remember just being so scared, like it brought me anxiety because I couldn't stop it. Like my head was just spinning and spinning, and it was just super scary. But when I went to Hollywood that one time with my parents, I started getting like this weird like headache. Like I was so sensitive to it. And now that I look back, I really believe it was a demonic attack from the devil because he knew early on what I was going to be capable of. He knew early on like I was going to bring my story about the devil. So far I go through evangelism and pray, and I'm like a prayer warrior, and that's all been Christ. Like, I'm not even here to boast. Like that's all Jesus in me. But I think like the devil knew early on what my gifts were and my power because of Christ, and he was attacking me very young. Because when I was a little girl, I wish I could explain it to an extent where like I could literally make you feel that experience of like the demonic attacks in my head because it was so real. Like I would hate having to even go to sleep at night because I was so scared of the feelings coming back. I was so scared of the fear from the devil coming back. Like I would dread the nighttime. And thank God, like my parents prayed. They really supported me during this time. Thank God I had godly parents who really supported me. And if you have godly parents that have like all types of religious artifacts, you should really thank them. Thank them, because you don't know half of this shit those artifacts be doing to keep stuff out. Like no joke. Even if you're an atheist, you have like a habit or I wouldn't even say a ritual if you're an atheist, but more like a habit or a routine that you do to keep yourself at peace. Like I personally like feng shui, and feng shui really gets stuff done. Feng shui really does get stuff done. Or having like a cross, that's a whole other story. But girl, the shit I've learned. But she's on point with what she's saying. Oh, the video closed out. I guess Lucy doesn't want us to hear something. Let's do this. Understood me, and they prayed over me, and I don't have those experiences anymore. Like there are times, like maybe once a year, every other other month or every other 5 months, like very rarely where I get attacked. Like I do get like sleep paralysis sometimes. I do get like anxiety attacks. At times it depends, and it's very strange. But I know it's like the devil, trying to like hurt me and affect me because of how close I am to Christ. Mm-hmm. But when I was watching these videos, it reminded me of just like the demonic energy in my life. And I literally grew up like 20 minutes from Hollywood Boulevard. And when I drove when I was 10 years old with my parents, I remember experiencing that big headache. Because the devil attacks you. He really attacks you early on if he knows that your power is great and that God's gonna do great things to use you. As you get older. And I want to read these verses. And I don't know if anyone else experienced these. Remember, she said that. Like comment down below. I want to know. I want to hear your stories. In one of my future videos, remember she said that the devil will come at you at a young age, very young when you're a very powerful person. And it is up to you to tell that person, bye-bye. Tell the devil, bye-bye. Not today, Satan. I'm not having it. I'm avoiding you like the plague. Adios. Arrivederci. Because we need to rise up as an army and like tell our generation about God and not be unafraid. But these verses have really like Jesus in general, like knowing that He's my light in my darkness, like He's been the one that's given me the hope and has kept me in all of these these testimonies. This of like demonic attacks. But the Bible says the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So even though Hollywood is super dark and there's so much demonic energy in LA, there's still light here. There's still people who really love Christ here, and that's my family. Like we are a testimony. Like, my whole family, we are all believers. Like we all serve God. We all do our best. We love each other. We're generous to each other. And so even though there's so much darkness, like there's still light here. There's still light in LA, and I just would say be very careful who you hang out with. Because for me, I want to do film. Even though I grew up here, I wanted to make films. And during that season of my life where I was making a lot of films, I was getting very depressed because I was making horror films, and I wasn't a Christian at the time. I kind of like left out. It's a huge testimony, but I remember I was really around a lot of people that were in the industry, and it was so dark because a lot of them were drugs, a lot of them were just like having eating disorders, like just very narcissistic personalities, and it was so dark and sad for me to like see stuff like that. It was a very godless world, and it's no way to live without God. Like without Jesus, that is no way to live. That's like the worst punishment anybody can ever experience is a life without Jesus, and I know that from personal experience because when I was in that lifestyle of just going to parties, of making films, of like this constant competition where you never feel like what you're doing is enough, like the guys in the video, I felt so depressed. I felt so worthless. But thank God, Jesus, He always called after me because even in the darkest spaces, God still is calling you. The Bible says to open their eyes so that they may turn from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in me. And that's what God did to me is He opened my eyes. He reminded me of who He was. He became my light in the darkness again, and He took me from being a servant of the devil to being a servant of Christ. And He missed me during those times where I was gone, and I was not praying to Him. And that's how God feels about you. God misses you. He wants you to come back to Him, or He wants to even start a new relationship with Him if you never have had that. It's the most beautiful thing, and I just recommend everybody to follow Christ because without Him, you guys, and I speak from personal experience, it is no way to live. Juggling multiple bills can be exhausting, but I do have a faster way for you to systematize this. Now you can use the Quick and Simplify app that's going to automatically. That was it. There was some other stuff. But yeah, apparently Hollywood does this stuff where like they invite underage people to these parties, and that there's like famous celebrities that aren't like known on the internet, but they're known locally. I think that's interesting. And I'm not saying I'm interested in having underage people at a party now. I'm just saying I think that is a horror interest, not something I get off on. It's more like you couldn't even believe you heard it. I just couldn't believe I heard it. But yeah, I'll get better as I go. That was one of the Hollywood horror stories. What else do we got? Let's see. What else is on the internet? I've never been to Hollywood, so I don't have one for you. Nor do I want to experience one. Keep that away from me. Actually, I had a dream. That I got invited to an all-white party in like somewhere in like a field. And yeah, it was like almost every A-list celebrity was in there. And I was like, how the hell did I get in here? I'm like, I'm no one. How the hell did I get in here? And they were like, no, you can play the violin for us. You can do this for us. I'm like, okay, but what type of party is this? It's pure. I was like, it better be pure. But like, I've heard they're not. So like, I wouldn't go to one unless it's actually pure. But I will ask who's there. Who's there? And if they give me like a list of names that I like already like have like conspiracies or like probably facts that they've done some things, I'll probably just stay home and mind my business. But yeah, if I ever get invited to a white party, y'all could be like, oh my gosh, she prophesied this like when she was 23. It better be worth it, like some kind of art auction for charities. Like I'm not having it. I'm not having it. It's mostly TikTok. All right, next YouTuber, another queen of the internet. We have Tony Briani TV.
What's up, guys? This is The Horrors of Hollywood Part 2. If you guys have not seen Part 1 yet, I would suggest to go check it out. Part 1 has to do with the Illuminati and the so-called satanic rituals that happen in Hollywood, all in the heart of gaining fame. In Part 2 of The Horrors of Hollywood, we will be discussing more of the secrets that happen in Hollywood, but viewer discretion is indeed advised.
So serious question. Does this actually represent the Illuminati? Because if so, so many football players do this when they catch a football.
So, I'm done talking about the Illuminati and all that crazy stuff. This has been a discussion for me. Like, the time of me filming right now has been over an hour of talking about this stuff, and I don't want to talk about this stuff. It's freaking out. I'm glad that segment of the video is over and done with. And now I'm going to talk about another topic of Hollywood that I personally am not comfortable speaking about as well. But
so, if y'all are wondering where I like conspiracy theories, I get it from my dad. He grew me up on like river monsters, sci-fi films. Like, I think my mom and dad for like my cinematic.
Sexual abuse, all those things. So if you're uncomfortable hearing about this, I would just skip this segment. I have these videos linked in chapters, so you can move on to the next chapter. And I'll also be leaving some links down below if you are someone that has sexual abuse and you're struggling currently. When it comes to
my love for cinema, my love for film, my love for movies,
highlight the young girls that do. And I want to make sure that I do my part and I highlight the boys because the boys go through a lot as well. Someone specifically will highlight is none other than Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is a very famous singer, and when I tell you when he came out, he was just 13 years old. He took the world by storm. That boy was everywhere, and every teen girl was in love with him. But it wasn't just teenage girls that were chasing after him.
My friends say I'm a fool to think that Bieber's the one for me, and I'm glad he married Haley. Can't be myself. Continue.
He was hysterical. That little kid is like a walking set hormone. He is.
Got a little too touchy feeling with you?
He wasn't just like patting my butt, he was grabbing my butt. He kept saying, is it inappropriate? Is it inappropriate? He grabbed it harder and go, is it inappropriate now? Is it inappropriate now? 15. He's so cute. Justin Bieber, you guys want to see this guy? Oh my gosh, he's kissing me. Here comes the comes to me right here. Justin Bieber just like comes up and you just want to make it out. You know that? You're not doing that with girls. Right now I'm not. I mean, I'm talking to girls, but I'm not like have you not given me a sex contact? I mean, like I really don't want to have that conversation with my mother. Yeah, I kind of had it with my father. Like, oh really? Oh, my parents never gave me the sex talk. Okay, so why don't you give me a sex talk? I feel uncomfortable right now. Why do you want to know the sex talk for a 15-year-old boy? That's pretty weird. Let's talk about the album. Okay, what's the next new album? Backstage, McCarthy joked about what Bieber jokingly called violating. I did grab his butt. I'm single. I think that's cougar rape. So was the butt grab spontaneous? Well, it better be, because that's just weird, isn't it? Yeah, I gave a kiss and there was a lot of lipstick, and then my partner Luke said I went off, and I was like, no. So I did it for a reason. So remember me. So then I couldn't help it. It was just so delicious, so little. Just I want to tear his head off and eat it.
I want to say this. Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you. I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like, that was bad. Yeah. Wow, look at your eyes. And what music are you listening to at the moment, Justin? Look at him. Oh, beautiful face. All right, now it's time to find out.
I have legal guardianship for the next 48 hours. He's with me, so yeah, we're gonna go full crazy.
I'm good. I got young brother. Everything good. Still got rings and everything. Still that different, huh? Maybe even calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to contact me, draw my notes.
It's in his body language that he's so uncomfortable.
No, I'm not saying Diddy did anything to Justin Bieber, but if you just look at this one interaction, Justin seemed to be very nervous when Diddy asked him why he hasn't been contacting him, and they weren't hanging out like they used to. This was a teenage boy. Justin was probably 15 or 16 at this time, and Diddy was a grown man. So him asking why a teenager was no longer hanging out with him was a bit odd. And even with the words, he's going to be mine for 48 hours, that seemed to be peculiar as well. Once again, these are allegations. I'm not saying Diddy did anything, but just from what we've seen, this was weird to me at least. We don't even know the depth of what this young boy went through, especially given the amount of transformations that Justin has gone through throughout his career, the legal troubles he's gone through as well, and substance abuse, and all these things that has happened with him. We don't even know the depth of it. But the funny thing is, people are so quick to judge it, speak down on someone, which y'all have never experienced what this young man has experienced. If you just look at interview clips, if you just look at video footage of him at award shows, this young boy was prayed after by adults, and not just adult women, adult men as well. And he was always visibly uncomfortable. Also, Justin Bieber has spoken very publicly on child exploitation, and people believe he subliminally was speaking on it in his hit song Yummy, within the lyrics and the music video. Take a look at this person doing an in-depth description of what people speculate Yummy was truly about.
I want to talk about something that I observed while watching the Yummy music video by Justin. Pay attention. First of all, there's a group of kids playing music, and they look very confused. Children performing for adults, which Justin Bieber had to enter the spotlight as a young child. And just look at this lady, right? Pay attention to her face. That lady we just saw. The lady we just saw eating the fries with the glasses. She's a significant part of this video. There it is. Now look at this clip of Justin Bieber as a teen. It was so disgusting when I seen it. That's why I said pay attention to that lady. The lady with the glasses who had similar hair to this, which I don't think was a coincidence in the video, who said that the reason why she grabbed and kissed Justin Bieber on the neck is because he looked so delicious. He just looked so good. He looked yummy. which is why he did this. And towards the young video, there's actually Justin Bieber on a plate. This is not a coincidence.
And now to further allude to the point that was being made in the previous clip, here is how Justin Bieber was behaving during the filming of the Yummy music video. The song is meant to be happy, or that's what it seems like. But during the music video, Justin seemed to be very depressed and upset, almost as if he knew there was a deeper meaning behind the video that was making him uncomfortable. Take a look at this. This is why whenever people mention Justin Bieber now, they call him a man-child. I find it kind of insensitive, especially with all that he went through growing up. We haven't heard the in-depth of it because he has not been open as much as we may have liked him to, but this is his own story. And just from these few clips, you can hear the discomfort in Justin's voice whenever an adult put him in an uncomfortable situation. It really reminds me of with Michael Jackson when people were accusing him of children. Though Michael was found innocent, a lot of people still believe that he was indeed children. But if you look at Michael's childhood, he never had a childhood, and that's the same with Justin Bieber. He worked practically all of his teen years and some of his kid years. Both of their youths were taken from them, which is why when they do become adults and they act like quote-unquote children, y'all think it's weird, but it's because they never got that experience that normal people would have gotten at the appropriate time. And I just want to quickly highlight the Olsen twins because we don't really know much about the Olsen twins. They don't touch on what they went through in their childhood, but those girls have literally been working since they were about 1 year old. I want to show you guys a clip of Bob Saget, who played the dad in the hit series they were in, Full House, was playing with two girls that were meant to be the young girls that he worked with every day, Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, and doing very sexual things to those dolls. Take a look at this.
They instead of Ashley and Mary Kate, for Michelle, as a 3-year-old kid, they gave me a doll to talk to for rehearsal, a rubber doll, not even plastic, like a test dummy, like it looked like a porn doll. I was missing the stuff. Sure, you know all those things. You ever done that? You ever been one of those things? Not when I would hold it a minute. A 4-year-old, but yeah, have I ever? Sure. All the kids that were on the show were very young then, young, and they were up in their schoolroom in the trailer, and I was there with just a crew. It was mostly guys, a couple of ladies, but I had the rubber doll in the bedroom. I had to do the morality play. Right, a little speech. The size of music comes in, and start talking. So there wasn't at that moment, but that was the scene. So I'm in her room, I'm going, honey, I'm holding the doll, I'm looking at the rubber doll's head. Now, I was always a comedian since I was 17, so I said, I can't do this. Can we just read it? Do I have to do this? Or no, we need it for blocking. Cameras need to see it. We need to see it. So I'm like talking to it, you can't do this, can't do that. And then I just grabbed it, and I just threw it on the bed, and I just started pretending, that I was right. So the crew's watching this, and they're laughing at stuff, but I did it kind of slow. I didn't do it. I took my time. I didn't want to do anything to offend anybody. First, I was like dancing with it, and then I was like, laying in the bed talking to it. And then like, yeah, exactly. And then it was very lifelike. Come on, if you can cut this out, right? No. So one of the moms is a punchline. So one of the moms comes down, and this is all true. And she goes, "You gotta stop this right now. This is on mom. The kids can see this in the classroom. The kids are watching." And I'm literally I'm just going, like Lenny and my men. Not a good thing, but I'm doing. And she gets good. It's working. There's something wrong with it. And then she said, "The kids are watching." I said, "Well, turn off the monitor." So I'm working. That was my excuse was that I'm working. I consider that. And instead of stopping, I did stop. I like to turn down monitors. What classrooms? They would have the kids on a sitcom or they're going to learn it. I thought it was doing bookmark. I was trying to weird closed circuit thing with public schools or something. No, that was awesome, right?
The next clip I'm about to show you guys is when a bunch of comedians were roasting Bob Saget. It was a skit that they did on the show. However, a lot of the roast that they did towards Bob Saget involved the Olsen twins. And I have this theory that there's always a truth in some jokes. And I wonder why they kept using the Olsen twins as a joke when it came to Bob Saget being inappropriate towards them. Please take a look at this clip.
The whole time Bob and I were doing Full House, he was also hosting America's Funniest Home Videos. What a tough gig that must have been, huh? His entire job consisted of saying, "Take a look at this," which is what he used to say to Mary Kate Olsen in her dressing room.
Full House should have been called Blackjack because you got the Olsens when they were 8, you didn't stop until they were 21. Is it true that you used to give Mary Kate acting lessons? You tell her, act like this never happened. She'd be like, "You got it, dude."
Now, we all know Mary Kate and Ashley fell under the radar. A lot of people spoke about them. They allegedly dealt with eating disorders and substance abuse, but can you only imagine what those girls went through? They literally worked for years, over a decade, consistently. They never got a childhood. But it seems as if the only way for them to find peace was from leaving the industry. And they seem to lay low now. I don't know the implications of it, but they didn't even want to go back on Full House, which is the reboot of Full House, to show that they first started on. So now let's take it back almost 100 years ago. And this has to do with Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was probably one of Hollywood's first young renowned stars, and she was everywhere. She even has a drink named by her. But if you guys even know about the history of the drink, it's because Shirley Temple was always in adult atmospheres. So say she was at a bar and there was alcohol being served, a young girl should not be drinking alcohol. So they created a drink for Shirley, which is now the famous Shirley Temple drink, which is one of my favorite drinks ever. But the story behind it is even more sinister. Shirley Jane Temple was born in Santa Monica on April 23rd, 1928, and just at the age of 3, Shirley's mother enrolled her in Bedouin Dance School in Los Angeles, where she was scouted by Charles Lamont. And Charles was the casting director for a very controversial studio. That studio being Educational Pictures. In 1932, the studio began a series called Making Bliss, where serial children about 200 people reenacting these films and current events. So before I go on and mainly highlight Shirley, I want to emphasize how problematic these films were. It wasn't just Shirley that was exploited, it was all of these children. There were very inappropriate scenes. I'm going to show you guys a clip of some of those scenes that I found to be very daunting and inappropriate and exploitive.
Down on all fours, another toddler sits open-mouthed beneath an overturned baby bottle. A large sign in the background states sour milk. When things go awry, Gloria comes to the rescue by pulling a rubber glove from her purse and attaching it to a keg of sweet milk. As the youngster suckles away, a man can be heard moaning rather than mooing on the accompanying soundtrack. In the last baby burlesque film, Kid in Africa, Shirley played the cannibal civilizing Christian missionary, Madame Cradlebait. Attired in hot pants and a white safari hat, the pistol-wielding Madame journeys through the jungle accompanied by an Norwegian troop rushed from coolies. During a raid, she is captured and stuck in a cliché cook.
That's pretty